Podcasts. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale.
That didn't work out like I want to do anyway, welcome to the Rob and Kale Show. Rob Sanders, thanks for joining us this evening. My podcast partner is in the upstate. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? That looked like South Carolina trying to stop a Tennessee running back.
It looked like an abortion in a Philippines alley. That's kind of how that came about. So, anyway, real quick, thanks to everybody who was checking on my hound on Sunday night. He is now much better and currently is on the couch next to the wife eating a roll of paper towels. So
well, she needs to take the paper towels. Y'all can go ahead and do that.
Well, that's what the wife just did. She just noticed that he was doing it. Now she got him. He's not eating the paper towels anymore. He's got a lot of puppy in him, Jackpot.
Paper towels are expensive now, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, they can be expensive, but yeah, what a mess. Anyway, thank you guys for checking up on Pluto the dog, who is now, you would never know unless you really, really looked at him. He's got some scratches on him and a couple of little rough spots, but he's doing a lot better. So that's good.
Now, the pooch that did this to him, is he the worst for wear or she?
She, no. So she, we have to isolate her. I mean, it's like, you know, she's 120 pounds of menace now, and she has no time for a deaf puppy. And it's not like I was worried about her, right? So I take her and I start rinsing her off and getting her, because they were fighting in dirt and shit. So I had to get them somewhat clean, and she just got a bath and she was fine. Nothing wrong with her ass. She's fine. So there you go. What a mess. Anyway, you're much better. So thank you guys for that, for checking in on Pluto the dog. We appreciate it. Got games to pick tonight, Jackpot. Can you believe college? Yeah, the season's half over, man.
Yeah, there's some games going on tonight, actually. There's one that just started, and right now we've got UTEP at FIU. UTEP is up 24-7 at the half. You know, being behind 17 points to UTEP at home is got to be probably the lowest of the low college football. I don't know how it could get much worse than that.
I don't know. Losing to Georgia State at home.
Yeah, that's pretty bad too.
That's pretty shitty. Baylorman says, does Bruiser Bear need to fight someone on Pluto's behalf? No, he's fine. He's doing his thing. So we that's all I can tell you, man. He seems to be good to go. So thank you guys for checking in. Anyway, let's thank our sponsors, Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. We'll be having our live show there the day after Thanksgiving. Jackpot is going to make the trek down here. Got several things in the works that we're going to put together. We're going to have a damn good show. Really, really are. So looking forward to that. Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. Shout out to the folks in the Carolina Clash, one of the golf stops on the Golden Tee Tour. They just got that squared away. I mean, place was packed. 140 people playing Golden Tee at one time. Only thing happier would have been Big Barney Ross with a bottle of bourbon there, because I mean he loves the Golden Tee too. But anyway, stop in, check out Callaway's Bar and Grill, Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. We also have DNC Trucking and Transport. I spoke with Dennis Wilson today. He is moving that property wherever the hell you need it to go. I think today he was hauling sod for golf courses or some shit like that. You need it moved. Dennis Wilson can move it for you. He also sponsors Fireside Chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, read away, sir.
It sucks to be a Gamecock. Our coach is poor mouthing the media because he knows we're shit. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That is I wanted to get you into that because you heard what Shane Beamer said, where he basically did you take it the way that some people took it, that he was trying to, I guess, blame the media for saying, all right, they're improved every year and maybe they're going to win.
I don't know. I don't even know what he said. Did he yell at Gene again?
Hold on. I can play it for you. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Hold on. I'll pull it up for you really quick here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it moving here. Anyway, so Beamer, let me see if I can pull up the exact quote.
Lots of coaches saying things the past few days.
Yeah.
Brian over in the comment section is asking us about Mark Stoops' comments.
You want to go ahead and talk about that? I sent you the picture of that. I mean,
I don't know. I think there's a lot. That's much ado about nothing, if you ask me. I mean, he said that, but I mean, the only thing I don't really care for with that deal is he's kind of taking a dump on the players that he's got. If I was one of his players, I wouldn't. I don't know. That's exactly what I want to hear. Somebody's fed him those lines. You can't really tell me the athletic director and some high dollar boosters and whatnot have not told him, say, hey, anytime you get a chance to network or get this out there, do it. So he's just a piece in the puzzle. What's going on with the audio here?
I'm sorry. I turned off my microphone for a second while you talked. No, the thing with NIL is it's getting to a point now where these guys are, I mean, they're having to, in addition to getting the kids to go there, they're having to try to find them all this NIL money too. And it is just not easy, man. It's really not. So,
no, I mean, you're
all right. I'm going to play this bit for you here, Jackpot, and you tell me what you think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Jackpot. Listen to this, man. Tell me what you think of this from Shane Beamer, from his press conference. Here you go. Let's see here.
I think the state of the program is fantastic right now. Are we happy with being 2-3? No. Do we expect to be 2-3? No. Am I discouraged, or do I feel like we've had any kind of step back? No. Not to, go back to the last 2 years, but based on the way most of you guys projected us the last 2 seasons, we, without a doubt, overachieved in 2021 and 2022. And now I think the natural progression that people think in their minds is, okay, they won 7, then they won 8. Now they're just supposed to win 10 or 9, and we still may. Who knows? There's a lot of football left, but I look at just the big picture, Gene, as far as everything, where we were when I got here in December of 2020, what we've done from a culture standpoint, what we've done from a recruiting standpoint since we got here, the success that we've had on the field. And I get it. I mean, ultimately I'm judged season to season, but week to week. And you're judged on wins and losses. And right now in 2023, we're not good enough because we're 2-3. But, I also look at the big picture as far as the progress that we have made since we got here, the football that's still left to be played in this season as well. I see a group of guys that love being around one another in this program, players, coaches, and staff. I see the way they compete out there on the practice field. I see the guys that I see the recruiting progress that we've made, where each year has been better and better from a recruiting standpoint. I see the young freshmen that we're playing right now. I see the kids the young men that are seniors in high school right now that'll be a part of this program next year, as well as the guys that are juniors in high school right now that are really excited about what we're doing. So I couldn't be more fired up, not necessarily fired up about being 2-3. but could not be more fired up about the future. And in my mind, I'm thinking long term. And again, I get it. You don't get like a 6-year rebuilding plan as well. I understand that you're coaching at the highest level and you're expected to win, but I also know how far we've come since December 2020, and that we're just scratching the surface of where we're going to be as a program also.
All right. What do you think of that, Jack?
Jesus Christ. Could you get to the damn point?
But when I cut this up earlier and I tried to make it as short as I could, but he said a couple of things. Look where we are from where we started in 2020, which is exactly what Will Muschamp said, 2 years in, 2.5 years in. I mean, he basically said, look where we were when I got here. And it's like, really? Come up with something better.
Well, to be fair, now Will Muschamp's go-to line was always won more games the first 3 years than anybody else.
Yeah.
Will Muschamp inherited a much better situation than he did. So he inherited Will Muschamp's shitty mess, plus Will Muschamp's 80-something ranked recruiting class, plus no offensive coordinator. So
yeah, well,
I'm all right with him. I'll cut him a little slack.
Well, how much slack do you get? Will Eubanks with the $10 super chat. I'll read it to you, Jackpot. You think Beamer's the guy? Looking at who South Carolina is most likely losing off this team next year, looks like it's going to be more of the same or worse. That's a fair statement. I mean, there's not going to be a Spencer Rattler next year. There's not going to be an Xavier Leggett next year. No DeCarrion Joyner. I mean, you're going to lose a shit ton of pieces at the skill positions there heading into next season.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, true. Some of the young talent needs to step up. I mean, but there haven't been that. We haven't seen that young talent in the games. They're not utilizing it. So I don't know. All
right. Well, I tell you what. We'll get into our picks this evening, Jackpot.
Did you see the James Franklin comments?
No. What did Franklin say?
Oh God, you have to go look at his press conference. But he kind of went off on one of the reporters asked him a question about his quarterback, and he said the only thing that we haven't really seen from you guys is to push the ball downfield. With a deep passing game, or you gonna maybe just try to just take some, because I think they played UMass Saturday, which is
Jesus,
favored by like 40. Maybe Drew kind of just chucks the ball down the field, and we just try to complete some long ones. He's like, "What? Just chuck the ball down the field?" He's like, "No, we're not going to do that. No, we're not." He's like, "What you're asking me, it sounds like you're speaking Japanese. You're making me very uncomfortable right now. Just really over the top." Which the question that the guy asked wasn't a dumb question, but he worded it dumb, and Franklin did his best to make him feel stupid.
Yeah. Well, Franklin always come across to me like he's always been told that he's the smartest guy in the room, and I think he's believing that. So every room he goes into, he thinks he's just the absolute brightest guy there.
He loves the smell of his own farts.
Well, that is a very Jackpot way of putting it. Very good, sir. Very good. No, D. Taylor with a comment here that Callaway sponsors the show via one free meal per week. They originally said unlimited free food for Rob and Kale, but nearly went bankrupt within a few days. Is that the best that you can do, sir? Whatever, man. Bless your heart. What is it? Beamer says, "Go find some joy, sir.
Go find some joy.
Go find some joy.
Go find some joy, and I'll go find some Waffle House."
Yeah, I'll find my Waffle House. You go find some joy. All right, let's pick these games for this week.
Did you put? Make sure you put, when you get a chance, put Will Eubanks super chat down below.
Oh, I did, didn't I? I thought I did. Hold on, let me make sure here. There we go.
Okay, I make sure you do that.
I did for a minute. Oh yeah. I got to enter it into the thing here. My bad. Yeah, because remember, super chat's here.
We got to let him know how much we appreciate that.
Yeah. D says, I'm just getting warmed up. Well, go ahead and type away, sir, because no one gives a fuck about your feelings. So I just think you're funny. All right, hold on. So I'm going to put the super chat. What is it? Will Eubanks, right? Will, $10. There you go. There's the super chat. Let me make sure that's going. All right, there you go. Will Eubanks, $2. Appreciate it. Yeah, very good, Will. There you go. All right, so and he says he needs his respect. That's funny shit right there. See, Jack, you started this shit now, and now every show I have to stop and type shit, which is kind of funny. All right, so first game is Texas A&M at Tennessee. A&M is getting 3.5 on the road. Jackpot, which way are you rolling, sir?
I think Texas A&M will be able to do some things to Tennessee up front from a football perspective, nothing else. Line of scrimmage wise, I think Tennessee may have a little bit of a tougher time moving the ball against them than they have against some of these other teams on the ground. Texas A&M limited Alabama at about 20 yards rushing in last Saturday's contest. But I think the Tennessee rush attack is better than Alabama's. Who'd thought you'd be saying that? And that's not a knock on Tennessee. It's more of a knock on Alabama. But I think Tennessee found a way to pull it out at home. So there's a big home field advantage there, though. But I want to take Texas A&M to cover the spread, but I think Tennessee wins. I think they win a 3-point game or a 2-point game. It's going to be very, very close.
So 2 weeks ago, or what was it? 2 weeks from this Saturday coming up, Texas A&M had their Super Bowl and Tennessee had their Super Bowl. And Tennessee won their Super Bowl. So I think that when you really sit that back and look at it, I wonder, Texas A&M, are they going to be flat? I don't know. I don't trust Jimbo Fisher at all. I think he's just running around with a big, huge belt buckle that just says Jimbo on it. So, I mean, that's just how I feel about him now. He's making millions of dollars to dress up like a Texan, and he's not even from Texas. I don't even know where the hell he's from. He might be
from West Virginia.
Oh, West by God, Virginia. There you go.
Yep.
He needs to go back to the land of burning couches, but I'm going to take Tennessee.
Nick Saban was from West Virginia too.
Yeah, I did. I did know that.
A lot of people. Randy Moss. Crazy.
Well, but you know what? West Virginia is like Tennessee. You've got people that come from there, but they all fucking leave. They don't want to fucking be there. They leave.
Well, I think there's at least some opportunity in Tennessee. I don't think that a lot in West Virginia.
What was it? Billy Cole said the state flower for West Virginia is a satellite.
It's a satellite dish. I see a lot of satellite dishes now down in the Greenwood County, Abbeville County areas of South Carolina. I don't see like a lot of old satellite dishes up around here anymore. I think most people took them down. When did those start disappearing? Like maybe the early 2000s, maybe?
That's a good question. I think
that's probably about right. When everybody really started converting.
That was back. Look at us talking about the early 2000s, back when you can go to Dollar General and it was open.
Yeah, I know, right?
At night.
And there's only one in each town instead of 5. But yeah.
Yes. Anyway, I changed my mind. I'm taking Texas A&M in the 3.5. I think Tennessee will win. If they lose, it'll be funny, but they probably should win. But I'm with you, Jackpot. 3.5 points. I think that Tennessee will win by just 3. It'll be that close of a game.
I don't know. Like West Virginia is weird to me because I don't even know what is that considered. Is that considered a southern state? Is it a northern state? Is it Midwest? Is it Northeast? I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Now I have to add Big Barney Ross's super chat. He says deep penetration up the A gap on Jimbo's team. Let's see here. So I'm just going to write BBR because we know what BBR means here. And $2. Thank you, Big Barney Ross. We appreciate
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
And Mr. Will there. All right, so there you go. Let me add that to the bottom. All right, next game, Jackpot. I don't know if West Virginia is considered a southern state or not. I think it's just coal mines.
I don't think it is.
So we on the show here, we're making the declaration that West Virginia is not a southern state. Got it.
Well, I mean, it borders on Pennsylvania and like on one side, and like maybe India. Is it Indiana? I don't know. It doesn't really.
It doesn't really matter. The whole state's not worth shitting on.
It borders on Pennsylvania, Maryland too. Yeah.
Well, West Virginia is Pittsburgh's toilet.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, Rack Dog says it's Western. Very good, sir. Very good. The next one is Mizzou at Kentucky. Mizzou is getting 2.5 on the road. Jackpot last week, that game hit Jackpot in his feelings. I mean, as soon as LSU had that pick 6 from Brady Cook, my phone goes off with "fuck LSU." I didn't even have to. I mean, I knew exactly who it was. It was Jackpot and nobody else. Mizzou got their heart stomped on at home.
Bad.
Can they go on the road and beat Kentucky, sir?
I'm gonna say they do. I'm gonna say they cover that spread. I think they do. I think they get the Kentucky monkey off their back this week. I just think they're going to stretch the field on them. I mean, that for Kentucky really hasn't done. They really haven't faced much of a vertical passing game like Mizzou's which they're going to present a different set of challenges. I think Kentucky's reeling a little bit.
Yeah.
They really got punched in the mouth hard on Saturday, and I think it continues this Saturday with a loss.
Brock says West Virginia has the weather of the North and the inbreds of the South. Very good, sir. Very good.
Yeah,
when I look at a game and I think the two teams are comparably close, even though they try to win games differently, a couple things come to my mind. Where's the game being played? And the matchup as far as the head coaches go. So this game's at Kroger Field where you get double the fuel points if you show up for the game. And I think Stoops is a better coach than Dorkowitz. So I'm going to take Kentucky minus 2.5. Next matchup, Miami with probably one of the dumbest as far as coaches this season. And Mario, we call him Mario Crystal Balls?
Crystal Balls. Mario Big Chest.
Mario Big Chest, yeah. So there's that, and then you've got the old man Mac Brown, who's 806 years old. They'll be at North Carolina this weekend. North Carolina's getting 3.5. I'm taking North Carolina to blow them out because.
What time is that game?
I gotta look. I think it's a 3:30 game, but I'll have to check and see. Don't quote me on that. But let me look and see. I'll find out for you really quick here. But yeah, I think North Carolina will. I think that they've given up on him. That's just me. I could be wrong, but with how stupid he was in last week's game against Georgia Tech, I don't know if he can rally those guys in the locker room, Jackpot. I really don't. So let me find out the time on that game for you here. That's a 7:30 kick on ABC.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll take North Carolina. Yeah. If it was a nooner or something like that, I might think that this could be a bounce back spot for Miami, to prove that they still got some validity. But a night game on the road, that's tough.
Yeah, Mike says these are the new lines. Yes, these are the new lines from betnow.edu or whatever the hell it is. These are from there instead of the Vegas Insider site. So there you go with that.
Yeah.
Someone else sent us a super chat here. Oh, another super chat from Big Barney Ross says Mizzou will pound the gap and gash them. Damn it, Big Barney Ross. Now I gotta add that anyway. But no, the next game is Southern Cal and Notre Dame. Notre Dame looked like they were going to be really good with Sam Hartman. Now they've got 2 losses on the year here. And yeah, they've got 2 losses, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And matching up with Southern Cal. Which way you rolling there, Jackpot? Notre Dame 2.5.
I'm going to roll with Notre Dame. I think they covered that. I think they beat Southern Cal outright. I think they beat them. I mean, Southern Cal has been they've been playing with fire all year long, and
Notre Dame,
they're finally going to get scorched.
Favorite, Jackpot. They're 2.5 point favorites. So,
well,
yeah,
okay. I think they win the game and cover and all that. Mike Bridges said in South Carolina, can you use any of these sites for betting? Yes and no. You can use like the betnow.eu, and you can use mybookie.ag because they're based out of Mexico or somewhere like that, I think.
Yeah.
You can't use like DraftKings.
Yeah.
It was weird when I took my son to the Vanderbilt game. We were in Georgia and coming into Chattanooga, and then we were in Tennessee, and then we went back into Georgia for a little while. It's weird, but I think in Tennessee you could actually bet on DraftKings because he was wanting to do something on DraftKings, like one of those prop bets or something. So he could actually do DraftKings. He was like, pull over here at the rest area. He's like, because we can't, when we go into Georgia, I won't be able to do DraftKings. I'm like, that's weird.
That is weird. I'm going to take Notre Dame because I don't like Lincoln Riley.
Or it may have been vice versa. It may have been you could bet. One of them you could, one of them you couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I think the lack of defense is going to be Southern Cal's undoing. And, I mean, Notre Dame's back's against the wall.
All right, well, the next matchup is Oregon at Washington. Washington is giving up 3 at home. I think Oregon's a machine, and I think they're just going to mop the floor with Washington. I mean, I've watched Washington, and I like them a lot, but, I mean, Lanning's got those guys playing some really, really good ball up there in the land of the Ducks. So I'll take the Ducks and the 3 points there.
I'm going to roll with Washington. I think they have a better quarterback, and that home field factor, once again, that home field advantage is what's going to sway that their way.
So when we were putting together the picks for this week, Jackpot sent me, I think he had like 6 or 7 picks or games that he liked. He said, fill out the rest. And I'm scrolling and I'm looking through some of this stuff, and I'm like, man, remember the day when the Auburn-LSU matchup actually meant something? Now it's just a piece of shit game. But in honor of the days of the past, Auburn and LSU, Auburn on the road there, Auburn is getting 11 points. Jackpot, which way you going, buddy?
Where's this game being played?
It's at LSU.
It's at LSU.
Yep.
LSU's got the much better offense. They got the better quarterback. They played it wasn't really a slobber knocker. I mean, because it was more for that, but that was a test on Saturday. They came out of it. This one's hard. I'm gonna take LSU to cover. I'm going to take them to cover. I just think just offensively, I think they're just too much, and they're much better than Auburn is. And Auburn's kind of, yeah.
Let's add Uncle Lou to the show. Uncle Lou, how are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
How are you, sir?
Good. Georgia's playing Vandy this week, so no hype and hate. So I thought I would call in and do hype and hate for the South Carolina versus Florida game, but just a real short version, though.
Sure.
Okay.
Where's yours?
All right. Yeah. Who should I trash talk against? Which team?
Florida.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
you hate you really don't like either one of them, but I
Yeah.
would venture to say that if we put you in a room and it was like the Matrix, you could have the red pill being South Carolina or the blue pill being Florida. I think you would take that red pill, sir.
I take both pills. Okay. Florida versus South Carolina. Sunbelt Billy versus that goofball in Columbia. Shane Beamer. Beamer ball versus we don't know what we're doing ball. Somebody's got to win this one. Florida can't win a road game. South Carolina can't win pretty much anywhere they play unless they go back to the ACC. Hashtag 1969. Unfortunately for the Florida man, I'm leaning towards South Carolina in this one. I think South Carolina gets a big home win at night. 2 clowns enter. Only one clown will remain. Will it be goofball Shane Beamer? Or will it be Bayou Sling Blade Sunbelt Billy? South Carolina wins. Hey, Florida, come get you some of this, bitch.
Thank you, Uncle Lou.
Thank you.
We appreciate the hype and hate there. By the way, if since Shane Beamer and Sunbelt Billy are both clowns, I think Sunbelt Billy is more like Krusty the Clown, and Shane Beamer is like Bozo the Clown from like the late 90s. He's just trying to get these kids to come up there and win the grand prize game of, hey, you can go 5-3 in the SEC. But Sunbelt Billy really is Krusty the Clown. It would not be surprised if he was smoking crack.
Is it not me, or is it me, or if you look at Sunbelt Billy and Shane Beamer, do both of these guys look like they've probably aged like 10 years in the course of 2?
Shane Beamer is starting. He's starting to look like Herman Munster. I mean,
He's starting to look like
is.
his dad.
He is, but Bill Napier's down there, and he's having to realize, look, the only way that we're going to be worth a shit is if I go out and recruit some murderers and rapists like we had in the 2000s, the early 2000s, and then hope that I get a Tebow like guy that claims that he's never gotten laid to come in here and balance it out. I mean, that's the only way they're going to win down there. So there's that for them. I hope that you guys beat them this weekend because their fan base, remember when we used to have them in the chat room?
Yeah.
If you guys win, if you guys lose this weekend, they'll come back. Well, we're just better than South Carolina. If you guys
rare,
beat,
Octavian
you don't have to
and
deal with them anymore.
And there's a couple of others here and there that pop up, but for the most part, they're pretty non-existent around here.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope you guys beat them. We'll get to that pick in a moment. Jackpot, you're taking LSU. I'm going to take LSU to cover at home. NC State at Duke. Let's see here. Duke is getting 3.5 or giving up 3.5. I'm going to take Duke there because I think NC State is the shits. So give me Duke minus 3.5 at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I guess I'll take Duke. Their quarterback's hurt though, so I don't really know much about the Duke backup quarterback, but I mean I'm sure he's serviceable. NC State barely beat Marshall this past week, but they did hand Marshall their first loss. Thank you, NC State. I actually had them. I take a bunch of teams, a bunch of little games, and put $10 on them. Just see what I can win back. And that was one that I did take to cover, and they did cover with me. Won myself $9.09.
There you go.
What you get when you're minus 110 odds. Yeah, I think Duke will probably cover that home.
Next game is UCLA at the Beeve. The Beeve are giving up 4. I'm rolling with the Beeve, Jackpot, minus 4.
It's going to be a close game. Give me UCLA to cover. I think the Beeve may win, but give me UCLA to cover. defensively, UCLA is playing very good. They're
Mhm.
playing very good, and you would that's the thing. USC, hey, your crosstown rival, they're actually playing defense. You're not, so that could be the trump card there in that one. But yeah, I think that'll be a really good game. I think Oregon State may win, but I still like UCLA to cover.
When I put this game up, Michigan State at Rutgers, I said this had to be in the running to be the shitter this week. But Michigan State +5 going on the road there. Rutgers giving up 5. Which way you rolling, Jackpot?
I'll take Rutgers. Rutgers has found some semblance of offense this year. I mean, it's not. They're somewhat improved. Now the past 2 weeks they scored like 7 points each week. There was against Michigan and Wisconsin, and Michigan State's shits. So give me Rutgers. I think they win by 10 points.
Yeah, I agree with you on Rutgers. Then we
Did
go
you
into.
see the Rutgers quarterback Wimsett this past Saturday against Wisconsin? He rolled out to his left and he fired a pass. It looked like he was intending it for the corner of the end zone, and it was just terribly off to the left, and he skipped off the turf and hit some camera guy right square in the nuts.
No.
Look, you can look it up. Look up Rutgers quarterback hits cameraman in the nuts. I mean, he knocked this guy out.
That is crazy. I'll have to check that out in a minute. All right, so Florida at South Carolina. Gators opened up as a 2-point dog on the road. I assume that Jackpot is going to go with the Gators, right?
Yeah, I'm picking Florida.
Sure.
I hate to do that. I really do, but they just have not. South Carolina has not shown me that they can they're serious about stopping the run game. The pass defense is just fucking atrocious. I mean, I could not believe how low we're ranked against the passing numbers, like 128, something like that. It's freaking horrible. And while Florida's passing attack's not lethal, but I mean Graham Mertz can move the ball downfield. It's one of those quarterbacks I'd say that matriculates the ball down the field. And then another talking point I came up with was we're looking at common opponents. How many yards did Tennessee rush for against South Carolina? 238, 6 yards per carry. Against Florida, Tennessee rushed for 100 yards. That's 3.3 yards per carry. That's over 100% improvement over our number. And there was somebody commented in the comment section. This was a serious comment I got in the comment section. Games aren't played on paper; they're played on television.
Big Barney Ross says South Carolina will pound the B hole for yardage. Oh man, now I gotta add that to the super chat.
Is that the Billy hole?
I don't know. I mean, whatever it is, Big Barney Ross with the super chat. Thank you, Big
Well, he's
Barney.
giving you $2 times about 4 times now, so you can just do the Big Barney Ross times $2 times 4.
But I did.
Gives you another one.
Big Barney Ross
times
is
five.
$6, so Will with 10. Big Barney Ross is
Oh,
6.
okay. Okay,
That's
that,
why
you
it's
can
on the
do
bottom.
that too.
I mean, their names are in lights, just like you wanted, Jackpot, right there on the bottom. That way, everybody knows they care about the program, and then we can take our W-2s and staple them to our foreheads, so everybody will know exactly how much money we make. There you go.
So I can walk around like a clown. I could be in the clown bowl too.
Yeah. I will take. I mean, I want South Carolina to win this game because I don't like the Florida fans at all, but I just think it's a bad matchup for South Carolina just because they're going to line up and run the ball, and I don't think South Carolina can stop them on the ground. So with that, give me Florida +2. The shitter this week is Wake Forest versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's getting 1.5 at home. Virginia Tech used to be a valid program. Now they're not. Dave Clawson's a better coach. Give me Wake Forest plus 1.5. Which way you going,
Yeah.
Jack?
Yeah, Virginia Tech's improved the past 2 weeks. Now, this past weekend, they did go on the road, and it looked like, they got pounded by Florida State, and they kind of did. But they found a new quarterback in Drones, and he's, they're kind of moving the ball a little bit better now. They moved the ball really well. They kind of blew Pittsburgh out a couple of weeks ago. And Wake Forest is just, I don't know, they seem to really struggle. I mean, they look really bad offensively to me against Clemson. Clemson was just so anemic themselves offensively that eventually Wake Forest had to score some points, I guess, to break the monotony up. I think Virginia Tech wins, so I want to take the Hokies to cover that one. Where did Rob go? He left us. I don't know what he's looking for.
Sorry about that.
Did you go pee
All
in the sink? What's going on?
Yeah, I went to pee in the sink. Actually, I went to grab my phone so I could have the link that you sent me so I could show them the Rutgers quarterback here. Anyway. So, yeah, this actually looks kind of funny. Hold on a second here. Let's see if I can send this to myself here. So, are there any other games that you like, Jackpot, besides that you want to get into before we get out of here?
Let's see what we got going on there this week. Of course, we got we got a couple of matchups tomorrow night. West Virginia is at Houston, and you got SMU at East Carolina. Friday night, Stanford is on the road at Colorado. So, I mean, Colorado should blow them out. Georgia's on the road at Vanderbilt. One of the
what's the line on that game? Because everybody's like, oh, well, and Georgia last week, they're not going to give a shit about Vanderbilt this week. And I'm like,
31 and a half. I thought last year Georgia beat them like 60-something to nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Georgia pick. I think they'll cover the 31 and a half. I really do.
Vanderbilt's just really, really bad.
They're terrible.
They're. I mean, this is bad for a Vanderbilt team. You got Syracuse on the road at Florida State. Florida State's favored by 17 and a half. I don't think that's enough. Arkansas at Alabama. Alabama was 20-point favorite at home against Arkansas. Do you think Sam Pittman is on the hot seat?
I think Sam Pittman is doing endorsements for Underwire Brawls now.
I think Sam Pittman's a victim of early success at Arkansas, and he kind of set the bar too high for himself.
Yeah,
I think that's what the problem is there.
Look, I'm going to show everybody this thing you sent me, Jackpot. Hold on, let's see here. What we got here? Oh, this is the guy getting hit nuts that you sent me. I don't know why we're watching that, but all right. Jackpot sending me this guy, the quarterback. I guess he bounced the ball off the nuts of this guy. Here you go. Let's share this really quick here so you guys can see that. All right, so I haven't seen this play yet. Let's see how this looks.
Wimsett to pass on 4th and 2. Flushed out of the pocket. Wimsett incomplete.
Oh, took it right to the nuts.
Rodos Johnson was chasing down Wimsett, and Rutgers turns it over on downs.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
It's there.
Yeah, it skipped it right off the turf and right square into the breadbasket.
That's not good. That's not good at all. What a mess. Anyway, yeah, I don't know where to go on that one, Jackpot. I mean, Whew.
Got
You made that
Illinois
point.
going on the road to take on Maryland. Illinois is awful. I actually handed out a pick this last Friday night, and I feel embarrassed for doing it. I told people take Illinois or take Nebraska under their first half total points because, with the death of Dick Butkus, I really thought that, Illinois would come out fired up and really play a good game defensively in the first half. And that would have been a push, actually, with 10 points scored out of Nebraska if Illinois knew how to field a fucking kickoff return instead of fumbling it away. They gave Nebraska scored 2 touchdowns in 15 seconds. That's probably never happened before, especially
Not
with
since,
Nebraska. They're horrible.
No, it hasn't happened in a long time. You're right about that.
So yeah, that was they dicked me. But other than that, I think that was some solid advice. And here's another one too, and you might, y'all can take this with a grain of salt if you want. When I was listening to that James Franklin press conference, I listened to the entire thing. He's playing this weekend against UMass, and the guy who's the coach at UMass named Don Brown used to be the defensive coordinator when James Franklin was the offensive coordinator at, and I'm not even sure where they worked together at. But James Franklin just continued to talk about the tremendous respect he has for Don, and I still use this that Don taught me, and I do this that Don taught me. And I'm like, dang, he sounds like he's really close to this guy. So I would think that I would take UMass to cover the spread in that game. I think it's like 42.5 points or something, because it doesn't sound like James Franklin's going to run it up. Well, James Franklin will run it up against terrible teams, but I don't think he's going to run it up against this guy because he seems to have a genuine affection for him. Just a little something I caught on to there.
By the way, they're rallying. FIU's rallying against UTEP. It's 24-14 now.
Oh,
look at me go.
You got Louisville's going on the road to Pitt. That's a 6:30 p.m. game. Louisville, that's on the CW, by the way. Louisville's only a 7.5-point favorite. They better watch out.
Jesus. Look, first of all,
that's a classic trap game spot.
They're going to mop the floor with Pittsburgh, but why is it that the ACC is putting games on the fucking CW? Tonight, after Dawson's Creek reruns, you can watch an ACC matchup between Louisville and Pittsburgh. It's like 12 people.
I don't know, man. I guess they got so many exciting ones they want all fit on the ACC network. So that's like the sister network. I don't know.
What a shit show. That's where I'm at on. I can't think of it. I mean, they haven't had any games on there. I'm like, yay. They've had Pittsburgh on there twice. They had I think the Pitt West Virginia game was on there. And oh shit. Then they've got this game too now. I mean, it's just.
So you don't think Pitt could strike the upset?
No, they moved jackpot. They moved Jerkovich from quarterback to tight end. Narduzzi has lost his fucking mind. I mean, they took their starting quarterback, a guy who was.
Doggone, took their star. One of their former starting quarterbacks. He's a wide receiver now, and one of them running back.
Oh my God! So they took a guy who played at Notre Dame, who played at Boston College, and then now he's at Pitt, and it's like, you know what? You're out there playing quarterback. Fuck it. Go play tight end. Why not?
Tight end is
playing tight end now.
God, you think a quarterback would be more athletic? I mean, you find them something. A receiver is, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Of course, Clemson had a quarterback one year. That next year he was playing defensive end. That was would be Patrick Sapp.
Patrick Sapp. Good point.
Did you ever see that guy
CW
throw a pass? It looked like he was throwing a shot put.
Look, there was a stretch of time there where Clemson had a string of quarterbacks that were the absolute shits, including Brandon Streeter, Nealon Green. I mean, And every week it was, is Nealon going to deal with his turf toe? It's like, remember that jackpot where he had turf toe for like a whole year? After a while, it's like, just get him the fuck out of there. I mean, and then he'd go in and he'd be terrible. And I'm like, well, if he's hurt, don't play him. But I mean, they didn't have anybody else to play quarterback. It was just the shits for the longest time.
Yeah, it was pretty bad because they really had some good players on defense over on that side of the ball. Because Anthony Simmons was at Clemson around that time.
Simmons and then Keith Adams and all those guys, but then they had a shotgun Willie Simmons. He was supposed to be great, and he ended up being the shits too. Just I don't know, man.
Do you remember a wide receiver that played for Clemson named Kenya Crooks?
Yeah, I remember that.
He's from Seneca, South Carolina.
Yeah, they had like they'd have. I remember they would have like they'd have some playmakers at wide receiver and then running back too. Reggie Merriweather was a good running back. I mean, he wasn't big, but he was a good running back. But Charlie White. It started like the quarterback stuff kind of trended up a little bit. I mean, Charlie Whitehurst was a good quarterback for Clemson, and then you kind of moved up from there a little bit. I mean, then he had the
Will Proctor.
Proctor was the shits, but I think Clemson had this whole thing where for like 8 years they had really, really, really good quarterbacks with Taj Boyd and and then Deshaun Watson and you had a break in there with a couple of other guys too. But I mean, Clemson was just so small. Oh, yeah, fuck him. But they had like all these great quarterbacks like that were just generational type quarterbacks. And then now it's like everybody's expecting so much from Klubnik. And I'm not defending Klubnik. You went to Clemson, you knew what that entailed, but to sit here and say that he's holding the same cup of coffee that Watson or Lawrence or Boyd had would be silly. Would really, really be silly.
Yeah, he's not that.
He's not that at all. Anyway, no Clemson game this weekend. They play at Miami next weekend. So it's like I think it's Miami, and then I can't remember the rest of the schedule after that. I know Notre Dame's there, but you look at the rest of the Clemson schedule.
Yeah, Georgia Tech at some point.
Yeah.
That might be a good game.
Mike Dobreski was a better quarterback than Cole Stout. Thank you, Brock. The scout team legend.
All facts.
Bow Hunting 101. Okay, Bow Hunting 101. He says Miami by 50. You think Clemson's going to lose by 50 to Miami? Put your money where your mouth is. Find me on Twitter at Rob Sounds Good. I'll take Clemson plus 50. Otherwise, you're just a chicken shit coward asshole that knows nothing about football. So there's that.
Let's not call the viewers assholes.
I'll call them whatever the hell I want. And they do not play Louisville this season. That's another thing. Louisville comes off the schedule this year.
Yeah, I know. I was saying the other night. Louisville's been in the league since 2014, never beaten Clemson, and now the 1 year when they have a team that could do it, they don't damn play. Isn't that just the shits?
Well, yeah, so they get Miami, and then after Miami, then they'll play I think they go to NC State. So you got 2 straight road games. Then you come home to play Notre Dame the following week. And that's going to be I don't know how that's maybe at night. I don't know if that's going to be a night game or not. They haven't announced that yet. But then you follow that up with the end of the season. I think you have Georgia Tech. Yeah, then they have Georgia Tech at home, followed by then North Carolina, which is an interesting matchup. Then go on the road to South Carolina. So 2 straight tough road matchups in theory. And then you come home to play Notre Dame, then Georgia Tech, who, I mean, they're playing above water in my opinion. and then North Carolina, who's leading the ACC right now. So, yeah, the road's not going to be easy for Clemson. If they don't put their shit together, they could drop 2 of those 3, or 2 of the next 4 anyway. They could. It's not that far fetched.
Hi, Daddy.
Hello, Jaden. You know what I mean, Jackpot?
That's true. Well, we're talking about next year. So, I'm not. I'm optimistic for South Carolina for next season. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, everybody's in love with the North Sellers. Me too. I mean, I like the way he plays when he gets there. Got a different kind of energy about him. So, I mean, I'm here for it. He's going to be the starting quarterback next year. Go ahead with it, young man. If Nick Harbor, I mean, surely to God, this guy can be ready to play wide receiver by next year. So, who knows? I mean, he could go off. I mean, these two could. I mean, we're going to Oklahoma next year. I'd love nothing more than the North Sellers to take his bespectacled self into Oklahoma or to Alabama. Could you see the North Sellers going down to Bryant-Denny Stadium with Nick Harbor and DJ Braswell and the Gamecocks strike the upset outright?
Russell says he'll take 50 versus the Canes. I mean, I mean, the only person who thinks Miami's going to beat Clemson by 50 is of course bow hunting 101. He should stick to the bow hunting. So there's that.
I don't think he really believes that.
Well, he wrote it. I mean, there it is. All right, let's see if we can get a guess before we get out of here, Jackpot. I'm putting the link is in the description, but if you would like to join the show, here it is. Big Marty Ross says, of all the martial arts, karaoke in Missouri inflicts the most pain. Okay, fair enough. Oh, now, he's doing his moonwalk, Jackpot. It was a joke, dipshit. Okay, moonwalk back, sir. Make sure you flip your hat like Michael Jackson and walk back. So, you call people out. They don't like that shit. It's kind of funny. All
Who's
right,
the
well.
NFL player today that they came out, he murdered his mom.
Wait, what? I missed that one.
See that?
So NFL
God, I can't remember. Somehow I know it down in the chat. It was out on the news today.
What NFL player murdered his mom? How do you murder your mom? Like, what did she do? Did she burn the meatloaf? What happened here?
No, I don't know. He's retired.
Hold on, I'm pulling it. Sergio Brown, been charged with the murder of his mother, being arrested in California. Authorities have been searching for Sergio Brown since his Myrtle Brown was found dead near her home outside of Chicago last month. So he is now been taken into custody for murdering his mom.
It's fucking nuts. 74 years old.
I don't know how that works. So he was arrested in San Diego while re-entering the U.S. from Mexico. So he was down in Mexico doing something. He's awaiting extradition to Maywood, a suburb of Chicago, to face the murder charge. Mexican law enforcement officers have known Brown's whereabouts since at least September 19th. A law enforcement source familiar with the investigation tells this news source here, which was the first to report Brown's arrest. So he was basically deported from Mexico, but it was not without incident. The source said, indicating the former NFL player created a disturbance on an extradition flight from Mexico City to Tijuana and was threatened with removal by the plane's captain. So basically they're extraditing him by a plane, and he's like, fuck this, I'm going to do something on here, and the plane's captain is threatening to kick him off. Well, I mean, let's just if you're flying on a Mexican plane, that has to be the shits too, by the way. I mean, think about that. I mean, I want to be on a plane that's flying out of Mexico. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and kick you off. They probably literally would.
What a shit show. You don't like to hear about an old lady dying, but I will say that the idea of the guy on the plane, a Mexican plane flying back. Hey, get the fuck out of Mexico. We don't want you here because you killed your mom.
That's the flying burrito.
Oh man. Anyway. All right, Jackpot, you have anything else for the show, man?
I don't have anything to add to the show. You know, we'll be live streaming the game here at 3:30 on Saturday afternoon over here on the Carolina Jackpot channel for those who are interested in coming to watch it. We always have a nice uptick in viewership on those live streams when the Gamecocks start losing.
I don't know why that is. I mean, it's the
I
same
don't
old.
know. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to figure that one out.
You're just a guy that just enjoys watching college football, but for some reason, when your team loses, these guys show up and they're like, they're losing their minds.
One might think they may get some entertainment out of it.
Yeah, well, I don't know how that works out. We'll see on that, but be sure to watch the Jackpot live stream. The Basement Bookie is going to send me a pic. He forgot to. I'm guessing he or she forgot to. If I get a pic from the Basement Bookie, I will do a live stream with that pic before Saturday's games. By the way, this is the last time I'm going to say this. If you submit your picks after noon on Saturday, you will get a fucking 0. All right? Because I've told you guys for 3 weeks now, it's too much to keep up with. If you submit your picks at 12:02, 0 for the week. All right? 0, because it's just got people submitting their picks at 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they're pissy because I won't give them credit for the early games. Fucking games are over.
Yeah, hell, you can't pick them. We're not live betting here.
Yeah.
It's we went and changed the lines, changed what we were using to make it more contest participant friendly.
But I'm not gonna take any more picks after 12 o'clock because it's just too complicated, and then it just messes everything up. All right, so don't do that. Get your picks in early. You can go and do it right now. Go make your picks right now. All right. Some people
you can make them now, and if you want to change something later, you can. I wish like hell I hadn't changed mine last week.
Yeah, because
I let one of them idiots that I listened to on those Vegas podcasts talk me into changing my Louisville pick. Dumb.
Don't do that. Go with your gut. All right, guys. Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys later on.
See you, gang.